The defendant, Daniel Villegas, not guilty of...
Imagine being a teenager, ripped from your family, handcuffed for a crime you didn't commit. Your dreams, your youth, your very identity erased by a system meant to protect you. Wrongful convictions don't just lock away the innocent. They fracture families, shatter trust, and leave scars that no apology can heal. Today, we dive deep into three heart-wrenching cases: Daniel Villegas, Ricky Jackson, and Kirsten Lobato, where coerced confessions, fabricated testimony, their exonerations are more than legal victories. They're raw, emotional triumphs, filled with tears, hugs, and the bittersweet reclaiming of lives. This documentary uncovers the agony of false imprisonment, the relentless fight for truth, and the systemic failures that let these injustices fester, celebrating the unbreakable spirit of those who walked free against all odds.
Integrity. And you guys let the evidence be heard and you follow the evidence, and I would like to thank you.
May 1975, Cleveland, Ohio. Ricky Jackson, an 18-year-old aspiring mechanic, was arrested for the murder of a money order salesman, Harold Franks, outside a convenience store. Breach occurred when police pressured a 12-year-old witness, Eddie Vernon, to falsely identify Jackson and two friends, with no physical evidence linking them. Education underscores that child witnesses are vulnerable to suggestion. Protocols like neutral questioning and corroboration could prevent false testimony. Vernon's coerced account led to Jackson's conviction in 1975. Ohio's moratorium on executions in 1977 commuted his sentence to life, but he endured 39 years in prison, one of the longest wrongful incarcerations in U.S. history, losing his 20s, 30s, and 40s to a lie. In 2014, Vernon, now 52, recanted to a pastor, admitting he never saw the murder and was pressured by police. The Ohio Innocence Project brought this to Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, leveraging laws under Ohio Revised Code, Section 2953.21. The court reviewed Vernon's affidavit and the lack of forensic ties to Jackson. Judge Richard McMonigal declared, "Mr. Jackson is free to go, the consequence of a fabricated case crumbling." Jackson stood stoic, then embraced his family, stepping into sunlight for the first time since 1975. He received $1 million from Ohio and $2.65 million for lost income, but no amount could restore his lost decades. The courtroom, heavy with 39 years of injustice, became a monument to Jackson's quiet strength, his freedom a rebuke to a system that failed him.
I figured that everything would come out in the wash. I was like, it's not me, that everything is going to work out because I believed in the system.
July 2001, Las Vegas, Nevada. Kirsten Lobato, an 18-year-old recent high school graduate, was charged with the brutal murder of a homeless man, Duran Bailey, in a Las Vegas dumpster enclosure. Breach occurred when police ignored Lobato's alibi. She was 165 miles away in Panaca, Nevada, with her family at the time of the crime, relying instead on a vague statement she made about a separate self-defense incident. Education highlights that alibi verification and forensic timelines are critical. Early DNA analysis could have spared Lobato. With no physical evidence, her 2002 trial convicted her of first-degree murder, but a 2006 retrial reduced it to voluntary manslaughter, sentencing her to 13 to 45 years. She spent 16 years in prison, her dreams of college and a career stolen. In 2017, the Innocence Project and new forensic evidence, including entomology reports pinpointing Bailey's death, laws under Nevada Revised Statutes, Section 34.960, allowed relief for new evidence proving innocence. Clark County District Court Judge Linda Bell reviewed the timeline and dismissed all charges, declaring Lobato free. "So happy," Lobato exclaimed, tears streaming as she hugged her parents, the consequence of a botched investigation undone. She filed a lawsuit against Las Vegas police, with compensation still pending. The courtroom, once a symbol of despair, became a beacon of her redemption. Lobato's first act as a free woman was to drive home, the open road a symbol of her reclaimed life.
Not guilty of...
April 1993, El Paso, Texas. Daniel Villegas, a 16-year-old high schooler, was arrested for a double homicide he didn't commit, accused of shooting teens Robert England and Jesse Garcia in a drive-by. Breach occurred when El Paso detectives interrogated Villegas without a parent or lawyer, threatening beatings and the death penalty until he signed a false confession. Education stresses that juvenile interrogations demand protections like recorded sessions and legal counsel to prevent coercion. Texas's lax protocols in the 1990s failed Villegas. He tried retracting his confession hours later, but it was dismissed. With no physical evidence or eyewitnesses, his first trial hung in 1994. A second in 1995 convicted him to life in prison, based solely on that coerced statement, robbing him of his youth and dreams of college. Villegas endured 18 years in a maximum security prison, his mother Yolanda visiting weekly, her faith unwavering, uncovering inconsistencies in the confession and ballistics evidence contradicting the prosecution's narrative. Laws under Texas Code of Criminal Procedure Article 11.073 allowed new scientific evidence to challenge convictions. In 2014, El Paso County District Court granted a new trial, and in 2018, after a third trial, the jury delivered a resounding not guilty. Judge Sam Medrano declared, "You are free." Villegas collapsed in tears, hugging his wife, whom he'd married while on bond, and his mother, who whispered. He filed a lawsuit against El Paso for millions, seeking accountability for his stolen years. The courtroom, once a trap of injustice, transformed into a stage for Villegas's redemption, his family's sobs echoing 18 years of pain and perseverance. Daniel Villegas's tearful vindication, Ricky Jackson's stoic freedom, Kirsten Lobato's joyful release, these innocents transformed courtrooms into arenas of redemption, their exonerations exposing a justice system riddled with flaws, confession to Ohio's pressured child witness, and Nevada's ignored alibi. Their stolen decades, 73 years combined, demand accountability. Laws, Texas Article 11.073, Ohio Section 2953.21, Nevada Section 34.960, delivered freedom for breaches of truth and fairness. Consequences restored lives, but no compensation can erase the pain of lost years, missed weddings, or unborn children. These stories ask, how do we prevent such tragedies? What reforms can ensure justice doesn't fail again? Subscribe for more true crime explorations into the fight for truth. Comment. Can the system be fixed to protect the innocent? Hit the bell. Next, we uncover more stories of those who battled injustice and won.